Bengali by birth, Jogendra Sen became an adopted son of Leeds through his sacrifice for king and country.
I think people, when they look at the list of names in our war memorial, wouldn't necessarily expect one of them to have been an Indian soldier.
A student at the University of Leeds, named on their roll of fallen alumni, in 1914, Sen became the only non-white member of the city's Pals battalion.
He must have felt this dual loyalty, to India back at home, as well as to Yorkshire and to Britain. When war was declared and then the call went out to try and recruit for the Leeds Pals, he was one of the young men who responded.
Sen was not alone. More than 900 men were recruited from Leeds, picked off the streets, taken from universities and workplaces, but the recruit from Bengal was held back.
There was a colour bar, so he tried to enlist as an officer and was denied. It shows something of his own character that he then went back and said, oh well, I'll be a private then, I'll join at the bottom. So there's clearly a desire, that he had a desire to join the battalion.
Searching the archives a century on, a team of volunteers has been researching Sen's extraordinary story.
Here's the painting of Jogendra. He's got his glasses on, they're in the collection. Remarkable as he was for, doing what he was doing. They say war's a great leveller. I imagine that once they were in training and everything, he would have just become one of the guys. His qualities alone would have made him stand out and made him a natural pal.
Initially deployed to the Suez Canal, the Pals were eventually sent to swell the numbers in the Somme in 1916. Jogendra was killed in action in the trenches in May that year.
Sen, J. Nath, Private, West Yorkshire Regiment.
His sacrifice is remembered at the Unitarian Chapel in Leeds' City Square.
He joined the chapel pretty much when he began his studies in Leeds, and he became a firm and affectionately held member of the congregation.
But the church was considered so unorthodox, its sacrifice was overlooked, and with it, so too, was the sacrifice of the Indian-born son of Leeds.
Mill Hill Chapel, despite its considerable sacrifice, was at the end of the war excluded from the civic memorial. And we were placed in a position where we had to effectively erect our own memorial for those of our community who had fallen. The way that Sen was able to become a real part of this community is something worth celebrating.